Welcome to our 30th celebration of School to Career. It's definitely an exciting time. We are excited about this event this morning. I don't guess it's evening yet. And we're going to not only recognize our award winners for this year, which is one of the primary focuses of this breakfast, but the other thing we want to do is recognize the architects of this program that started it 30 years ago. And it's real exciting for me to see all the folks that I've had the opportunity to work and learn from since I've been involved in this over the past 30 years. So I'm grateful that they made the time to come out and be here today, and we want to recognize them, talk a little bit about them, and get them to share a little bit as well. I'd like to thank the Middle Creek Digital Media Academy for once again being here and filming us. For those of you that would like to see yourself on TV, you can go to YouTube. We usually end up posting this to YouTube, so you get to see yourself if you're interested. But Louis Malandando and his team do a fabulous job, and we really appreciate them being here. In addition, we've got the Middle Creek interior design folks have done the centerpieces on your tables. So we have gotten quite a bit of support from our Middle Creek academies this year. So many thanks to them. As we begin this event, one of the things that we like to do is to hear from our superintendent. And Dr. Taylor is here this evening, and this morning. I don't know why I want to do evening. But we were talking in the back, and I was thinking as I was trying to think how to introduce him, I said, this will be the third time I'll introduce you. And so the first year we went through all his credentials, and the second year we didn't do quite as much credentials. And so I told him that I had attended the State of the Schools event back in February or March over at Southwest Raleigh High School. And I said I filed in with everybody else, and I sat in the middle of the auditorium. And I said the lights went down, and all of a sudden a few lights came up, and I said, out came this gentleman who was very eloquently dressed, as Dr. Taylor always is. But it was a white suit, and I said, this gentleman was extremely animated. And I said, I'd not seen this side of Dr. Taylor, and I said, I liked it. It was exciting. But what it made me stop and think about is that in the role that a superintendent must play, leadership is everything. And the situation that you get placed in determines the style in which oftentimes you have to present yourself to get the message that you're trying to get across to the audience. And that was one night that his message got across. He did a great job. And also, the other thing that I wanted to kind of comment on was that we had one of the highest graduation rates that the county has ever had last year, and 74% of the schools met or exceeded their goals. So the leadership is there. And we certainly appreciate that leadership. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn the podium and the microphone over to Dr. Taylor to let him talk a little bit about what he wants to talk about.
Good morning to you all. Thank you, Bill. I tell you, I was about to wear that suit today, but it's probably good that I didn't because I may have gotten animated, done a dance or two. But thank you for that. I've got to go back and look at the tape and see how animated I was. But again, good morning to you all, and thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning to celebrate the Career and Technical Education School and Career Programs. I can tell you that it is always an honor to be a part of this kind of event and celebrate the great work that we do. And you've already heard that this year marks a special opportunity to recognize the efforts of our volunteers for the past 30 years. I believe that it's important to remember the hard work of those that have come before us, to honor the efforts of the pioneers and thought leaders who first championed the school and business partnerships that have created so many opportunities for our students and really for our staff as well. Now, I can tell you I'm sometimes asked about our CTE programs, and I always get the question, why have they changed? Why don't we do the programs that we used to have back in the day when I was in school, is what they will say. And the answer to that is that our programs have evolved to meet the needs of a global and dynamic economy. And so we recognize that we had programs that were popular when we were in school. For me, back in the 80s, I won't say when Dr. Bill McNeil was in school. That may have been the 70s or 60s. I won't tease you, man. I won't tease you. But the idea is that we offer a wide variety of programs to meet the diverse needs of our students and of our community, from construction to healthcare to computer science and beyond. And remember that your guidance and support allow us to prepare our students for the world that awaits them, no matter what the future has for them in store. I can tell you as superintendent, my number one responsibility has always been to prepare students to live in the world that they will occupy. Let's remember that is not the world that we occupy. I can tell you that in the 21st century and beyond, they're going to always be constructing homes. They're always going to have plumbing issues that need to be addressed. But we also know that the future is technology laden, and we're going to have members of our communities that have the skills to do those jobs as well. And so I do want to make sure that we can construct quality homes, but I also want to make sure that we can wire them with the technology of the 21st century. So we know that our students are the ultimate winners because of your work with principals, administrators, and career development coordinators, career academy coordinators, and career advisory team teachers. We appreciate your commitment to staying the course in support of our students, school, and the CTE program in general. I'd also like to give a special thanks to our Business Alliance members, Career Academy Advisory Board members, Career Advisory team members, and business partners who support our middle and our high schools. These professionals help us to see what the future of work might look like and advise on how to chart a path that will lead to success. So it is about helping our students and our teachers chart a path and a way to the future so they can be really productive in our community. And finally, I want to challenge you to stay engaged and bring others to join the efforts of the School to Career Council. There are ways for all sizes of businesses to make an impact. We want all students to have opportunities to engage with business professionals in meaningful ways and to meet the demand we know that we will need more business partners like you in order to do that. I don't want to give away Joanne's thunder, but there's a QR code that she has on the table. I know she's going to talk about that. And it's an opportunity for you to scan and learn about our CTE programs and our business partnerships. And what she's going to tell you is that there are two, one for you to take and one for you to give to someone else so you can share the good news as well. So please help us share the good news about things that are happening. Tell your colleagues about your experience with our outstanding students and staff. Share with them how you engage. I'll say that again. Share with them how you engage. And let's work together to create the next 30 years of an outstanding opportunity for our students, but ultimately for the Wake County community. So again, thank you guys for being here. I can't say enough about the support that you provided for 30 years. And Bill, I hope I'm around for another 30 years to see how we're doing 3 decades from now. So thank you guys, and we appreciate you. Billy, you want me to dance before I leave, man?
Yeah, man, just a few steps. One of the things that I forgot to do when I opened was I normally like to see our split between educators and business professionals. So would our business professionals stand and be acknowledged that are here today? And now our educators, if they would please stand. And I saw over here on one table we have a young man in the military. Is there anybody else that, if he would stand and be recognized, we always appreciate our military folks. And as I was thinking last night, we're closely approaching November, so we're close to Veterans Day. If any veterans would stand, we'd like to acknowledge you as well for your past service. So one of the things that we wanted to do today, as I said earlier, was recognize the folks, as I call them, being in the engineering and construction business, the architects of this School to Career initiative. It's quite exciting to see something that was instituted 30 years ago still survive. I spent 50 years in the business industry, and I saw more programs come and go than you can shake a stick at. And so when you see a program that has lasted and endured and has been supported the way this one has, it was only fitting that we recognize after 30 years the folks that had put this together. And so there were 6 folks. I'm not quite sure because I was not in the room and around, and I'm sure there was a lot of sidebar conversations. But Bill McNeil was an associate superintendent. At the time, our superintendent was Jim Surratt. And Walt Sherrill was a principal at Athens Drive High School. And they were the educators. And then we had the 4 business professionals that I like to refer to as the 4 horsemen: Jim Herbst, Larry Lafleniere, Bill Munch, and Tom Oxholm. And what is interesting about this is that they were able to get enough groundswell in participation to make this thing go. And we talk about it as School to Career, which it is. But one of the things that I found very fascinating being involved in the early years was that Bill McNeil took it upon himself to do a lot of work with the faith community. He saw the need to get the faith community engaged as well. And so while a lot of us business professionals were out there beating the bushes, talking to business professionals, Bill was in the background talking to the faith community. And it was the groundswell of all that that kind of brought that to the front. Bill started out, and Walt both, as educators in the classroom. And it was interesting when I started looking and researching. Bill actually came to Raleigh when there was, and he was a teacher in the Raleigh school system before we had a joint Wake County public school system. He came in 1974, and in 1976 we joined forces with the county. So he got to see a lot, and then he rose to the ranks of superintendent in 2000 and was our superintendent for 5.5, 6 years. And then he went on to work for a group called the National North Carolina Association of School Administrators. It was the American Association of School Administrators that named him as the Superintendent of the Year in 2004. And I remember Bill telling a story at an event one evening that I'll never forget, that at the time the central office was located on Old Wake Forest Road just north of the Duke Raleigh Hospital. And they put a big banner up on the building that said Superintendent of the Year. And as you drove by, you could see that banner. And Bill said that it got to be a little embarrassing for him. And so he said something to the staff one day that we need to take that banner down. And the staff said, no way. That banner stays. Because as Bill, being the leader that he is, realized that he recognized that they saw that as an accomplishment for them as well as him. So that spoke volumes about his leadership and what he did and what he brought to the table as a superintendent. Walt and he, being the educators in this formidable initiative, did a lot to get things going, and then the business people kind of took over. But what I would like to do is Walt left Athens Drive, I think, in 1998, and then he came to the central office and spent 5 years there, the last being an associate superintendent overseeing 5 departments. And then he left and retired and went into the consulting business. He was smart enough to know where the money was. It was not in education. So, but between them, I'd like to bring them both up and recognize our educators for what they've done. And then what we want to do is recognize our business associates. And then we're going to let Bill, I felt it was only fitting to have Bill say a few words about this whole initiative and his vision and his view of this whole thing. So if Bill and Walt will come forward, Dr. Taylor has a presentation for both of you that we would like to give you. Go back. Thank you. Now on to our 4 horsemen. They all were business professionals, as I said. Jim was the president of Henry Wurst, which was a printing company, and he worked with the business community, recruiting business professionals, and he was one of the earlier board chairs for the School to Career Council. He later left Henry Wurst and went to work for a company, I got it written down, Education Affiliates, that provides skilled labor. So one of the things that you'll see as I talk about all these gentlemen is that the theme of education runs deep. After Jim left School to Career, he was on the Wake Tech board, and if I remember correctly, I think that board was the one that brought Stephen Scott to the presidency of the Wake Tech. So Jim informed me that he's now a member of the Apex High School Business Alliance. So again, you see that even in retirement, and all these gentlemen are retired, they're still doing education. Larry LaFlanier was with the Lord Corporation and was a manager there. Unfortunately, Larry passed away several years ago, but Larry, like his other 3 horsemen, was very instrumental in recruiting business professionals. Bill Munch was with IBM and been with them for almost 30 years, and he left IBM and went to work for the community college system, working with the Job Ready program. So again, that education focus. And Bill was the first leader of the Business Education Leadership Council, which was the forerunner of the School to Career Council, and we called it BELC. But Bill has continued on after his job with the community college system, and he said he got the best job ever. He was a 7th grade math teacher at Lufkin Middle School. He said, I loved every moment of it. And so in his retirement, he has still does a lot of work. He is with an organization. Well, I don't guess it's an organization. He's a guardian ad litem advocating for neglected and abused children. And so I think that, again, speaks very highly of what he does and what he stands for and how he made such an impact on this initiative. The last person that I'm going to talk about is what I call a super education advocate, Tom Oxholm. He was someone that was engaged with a company called Wake Stone Corporation, and the owners of that company were very philanthropic and encouraged Tom's participation. Tom was an accountant and by education a CPA, and unlike most CPAs who normally look at the client's shoes, Tom looked at the people's eyes. And Tom always told me he never could figure out why he was an accountant, because he really liked people. And you could tell it when you interact with Tom. Tom is very genuine. He's very much an advocate for public education. He served on our school board from 1999 to 2003, where he brought his financial expertise to the board and to the school system, made quite an impact. And one thing that he and Bill McNeil did together was they wrote a book. And I'm sure you've heard of it. I think it was on the New York Times bestseller list for 2 or 3 years. A School District's Journey to Excellence. Tom used to tell me, he said he recommended the book to every insomniac he met. He said it's sure to put you to sleep in a hurry. Anyway, this gentleman has no quit. He recruited over 20 business alliance chairs, hundreds of business professionals and businesses for this role to start this initiative. And just recently, he retired from Wake Stone, which has been sold to another company, but Tom has taken on another education leadership role where he's trying to work with the Public Forum in North Carolina to help educate business leaders as to the state of the education community in the state. As many of you know, we are #1 in business attraction and a place to do business, but we're also number 43 in teacher pay and 49th in student spending. So people like Tom look at those numbers and go, we're not going to be consistently bringing the businesses to our state if we're not doing a little better job getting our teachers and getting our students ready. And counties like Wake County, Mecklenburg County, New Hanover County, Buncombe County, they're not as in bad a shape as our northeastern counties and our southeastern counties and our western counties. And Tom recognizes that. So he's looking at this from a state perspective. So as I said at the onset, all these gentlemen still have that education focus, even though they're in retirement, and still making an impact on their community. And I think that speaks volumes of what they started 30 years ago and what continues today as a result of that forethought and that hard work and that commitment. So if these 4 gentlemen, Jim Herbst, Bill Munch, Tom Oxholm, and Walt, no, I did Walt. Yeah, Larry's not with us. Yeah, okay. I knew there was 4. I don't know why. And Dr. Taylor is going to present you with a commemorative coin. Now, the neat thing about this coin that we're giving them, it represents 30 years, and we had the Middle Creek Digital Media Academy design it. Evelyn Hackney was the student that coordinated with me, and so one of the things that I find very interesting about Wake County Public Schools, and I'm also chairman of a nonprofit called ACE Mentoring, where we work with high school kids to expose them to the fields of architect, construction, and engineering. But whenever I have an issue with anything that I know I can't handle, I pick up the phone and call someone in one of the academies here in Wake County, and we've got 24 of them now. So these students are amazing. Not only the students that I get the opportunity to work with in ACE mentoring, but the students that are in the classroom day to day that do so many great things for this county and for the school system in general. So we're very lucky to have them, and you're going to hear from two of them later on in the program, and I think you'll be very amazed at what they have to say as well. So at this point, I think we want to move forward. Well, wait a minute, I need to back up. There is one organization that I forgot to recognize when we started, and that's the Wake County Economic Development Organization, Mike Hadley and his group. They help sponsor today's breakfast, and I think one of the things that's kind of interesting about them is that they recognize, and when you talk to the economic development people, that one of the big economic drivers is education. And when these companies come to the area, they want to know, what's your school system like? Will our kids that we bring in here, the parents, will their children get a quality education? Will we get students that come out of your school system that can support our endeavor as well? And I think to date, we have been very fortunate here in Wake County with the great school system that we have. So now I've got to bring someone else to the podium. Who am I supposed to bring? Oh, well, I think we're going to do some presentations, aren't we, Lewis? Oh, you're right. Sorry about that. So one of the things I said earlier is we wanted to have Bill and a business partner, Tom Oxholm, is going to come and talk a little bit about how this whole thing got off the ground 30 years ago. So I'm going to turn the program over to Bill McNeil and Tom Oxholm.
Superintendent Robert Taylor, to my distinguished administrators, and to the students. I've had so much fun walking around talking to some of the students, also the ones sitting at the table. They don't want me to call them out, but I might, so be careful. To the business leaders and supporters, and especially my retired colleagues, so I'm looking at you, Walt Sherlin and Sherlin, and some others that are in here. Not only are they my colleagues, former colleagues, they're also my friends, and I consider them to be family. It is my pleasure to be with you this morning. What is it, State Fair Day? I'm sorry, I have that, that fried Twinkie on the brain, I think. What's going on? So this is what it looks like early in the morning. Okay? Only for you. I'm going to tell you what Elizabeth Taylor told her fifth husband. I won't keep you long. Now, I got to let you know that you invited a retired guy. I have no guardrails. Who knows what I will say or how long I will say it. I realized a number of you didn't even know I was still around or cared. So I need to let you know I briefly left my witness protection program. I had to find this suit, this shirt, tie, shoes. But what that should tell you is how special you are to me and the work you do. So let me first see who's in the audience. Any of my former students here? Raise your hand if you're my former student. Okay, they're all out running corporate 500 companies or something of that nature. Any school board members or former school board members? Okay, I see Bill Fletcher in the back, and Tom. By the way, if any school board members, if you're offended by my comments, my message was written by Robert Taylor. So see him if you're offended. Are there some people here who are currently employed with Wake County School, but you also were employed when I was superintendent? Raise your hand. Oh, quite a few. All right, thank you. Greatest boss ever, right? Okay, you don't want to say that, I hear you. And if any of you in here still hold a grudge against me, raise your hand. Okay, I want to be certain because I do believe in forgiveness after your removal. I hope all of you know that I'm your biggest fan. I recognize the heavy burden that you carry in your efforts to educate students effectively. And the fact that you accept all kind of accountability that's required of you. You're competing for students in the marketplace and competing for staff in the marketplace. And all of this, in many ways, there's reduced funding. And sometimes the unfair scrutiny that comes from social media, and some of that happens to be fake news. So I get it. I really get it. I hear from people all the time, and they'll say things like, we didn't have these problems when you were superintendent. Naturally, my response is, you are correct. Sorry, Robert. I had to throw that one in there. The truth is we had our problems just like you, and we needed to find remedies that provided the district with efficient and effective teachers and administrators and provide a quality education that put all students on the path of a successful career. So we were dealing with changing technologies and trying to come up with improved staff training and preparation. But we were also dealing with overwhelming growth with the people moving to Wake County. We call that period an inflection point. Our response, by the way, if anything I say and you're a little confused, it is in here, New York Times bestseller list. And in fact, the second greatest book ever written. Our response, we came up with a 5-year goal, and most of you have heard about the goal. It was ministered in 1998 and completed in 2003, and it read, and I quote, by June of 2003, 95% of students tested in grades 3 and 8 will be at or above grade level as measured by the North Carolina end of grade and end of course test, unquote. In 2003, we added to the goal grades 3 through 12 and high growth for all student groups, and we stretched it to 2008. One goal, same requirement. That goal required us to answer key questions. How do we get buy-in for the goal from our educational family? How do we get the community to support for it? And how do we fund it? So we desperately needed answers. Specifically, we needed the business community to step up and help us. But first, we had to overcome the distrust between business and education. The reality is that there are more similarities between business and education than many of us realized. Business needs a highly trained workforce, and education needs advocacy and financial support to achieve its goal of providing students with the tools to be successful beyond high school. All of this activity back in the day, and I'm dating myself now, there was a report that came out, and it was called A Nation at Risk, came out in 1983, and the premise of the report highlighted what was seen as the mediocrity of public schools, which now means that critics of public school education had plenty to talk about as they were attempting to bash schools. In fact, they didn't need much criticism because they found it. So actually, the criticism coming from them became a wake-up call for reform. And that's when the Secretary of Labor responded by introducing something called the SCANS report, and that's an acronym, S-C-A-N. And this report was entitled, and I quote, "What work requires of school," unquote. Let me repeat that. What work requires of school? And this was the Secretary's Commission on Achieving Necessary Skills, SCANS, which highlighted the competencies and skills students needed to be successful in the workplace. This was Labor's message to educators. Now, armed with this information from business, we ask, how do we create the appropriate forum to communicate the message to educators? In Wake County, my friends Bill Seiler and Tom Oxon and others had created a model. They had a few business partnerships in the eastern part of the county. Their early model of pairing businesses and schools as partners became our blueprint. A novel idea, I want you to think about it. Business people going into schools and helping the schools with some materials and equipment needs, volunteerism, and curriculum needs and support. Business people helped us understand how to align our curriculum and teaching with their specific needs. We had to ask ourselves, were we in fact preparing young people for careers in some bygone era? With business help, we were able to upgrade our curriculum and training to include internships. So some examples of the businesses that created internships for our students were Siemens Industry and Electrical Plant in Wendell, as well as heavy equipment facility operators R.W. Moore in Garner. Our students knew exactly what was required if these were their career choices. I mean, it's just common sense. Who is better than business people to alert us of career changes and requisite training? Who is better than business people to help the community to know about schools' needs and struggles? Who is better than business people to help the community understand the problems of school overcrowdedness and subsequent support for a bond referendum? Who is better than business people in making a case about increasing teacher or administrative pay as well as maintenance needs? But before business people can make the case for us, I repeat, they need to know us. That is why Wake County Schools expanded at that time our school business partnerships countywide, because we recognize their tremendous value. So I come with a question today. Are we at another inflection point? Need you to think about it. The significant future impact of artificial intelligence in our classrooms, on our curriculum and training. Consider this. Computer systems that can perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence, such as learning, reasoning, decision-making, and problem-solving by processing vast amount of data at enormous speed. Game changer. The speed of changing technology, cybersecurity, market competition for private parochial charter, virtual and homeschool, 21st century job market, rapid changing demands, the tremendous time and cost of providing safety and security to students and staff, finding and recruiting the appropriate personnel, building and maintaining energy, efficient and quality school budgets that eliminate the rob Peter, pay Paul philosophy. They keep up with inflation and changing materials, equipment, and technology costs. Who is better than the business community to help you navigate these shark-infested waters, to communicate your needs effectively to a county commission or a general assembly, to lead the discussion of market rate salaries for administrators, faculty, and staff, to communicate how hard educators work and the tremendous asset you are to the growth, health, and stability of the community, to help educators prepare students for careers in a rapidly changing world. You need them, and they need you. The community needs you both. The Business Education Leadership Council and the School to Career Development Council represents unique partnerships between business and education. If done right, our greater community will benefit because all of you have the unique responsibility of preparing students for a world many of us will not see or comprehend. A world that requires thinkers and creators. A world that is changing at a dizzying pace. You, however, are uniquely qualified for this. You are the right assembled team to meet this current inflection point. So I now will insert a quote by Hillel, which comes to mind. And that quote is, "If not you, then who? If not now, when?" All the pieces are within your grasp. And I will say this, and only this to you. If I can help, Dr. Taylor knows how to send up the bat signal. So it is now time for me to return to my witness protection status. In case you need to reach me, my code name is Valley, V-A-L-L-E-Y. Why Valley as a code name, you're probably asking? Well, let me share that I am the son of a Baptist minister, the Right Reverend Dr. William Roosevelt McNeil Sr. I operate in a biblical, spiritual manner. I have a guiding mantra. And no, it isn't, blessed are the meek, they shall inherit the earth. And for you heathens, that's from the Sermon on the Mount. My mantra is a combination of the 23rd Psalm and General George Patton. And I quote, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because I am the meanest SOB in the valley," unquote. I tried to clean it up because I got young people sitting here. You have my blessings and prayers as you navigate these perilous times. But let me be very serious. The health and welfare of our nation, as we continue to seek a more perfect union, depends on you and others like you. No pressure. Godspeed, Padawan. May the force be with you.
I've had the joy of speaking with Bill McNeil so many times, and it always is a pleasure. And I want you to put the picture of Bill and I together up there, because you'll notice we're old. And you know how you can tell we're old? The suits we're wearing in that photo 30 years ago are the same suits we got on today.
Because we can still wear the same
We still wear the same suits. Our ties have changed. That's about it. Bill, it's always hard to follow as a speaker, and my part here will be to talk about what it takes to sustain school business alliances and career academies, and sustaining it is now way more important than starting it, and it's hard to start them. But I do want to make a couple comments. One is clear memory of the very first time, the first alliance I started was East Wake High School, and Del Burns was the principal in the early 90s. And I got an appointment through Tony Lanier, who worked at central office, who was the one person in the central office assigned to work with business community when they want to help. And Bill and other superintendents really didn't know how to make that work, so Tony had to figure that out. So she took me to meet Del Burns. And I already knew Jim Herbst, and he had already started the Apex Education Foundation working with Apex High School. So I went out and met, and I said, Del, here's the idea. You got a big school here. East Wake is low performing, has a bad reputation. The area businesses would like to help, but we're not educators. How would it be if I assembled a group of business leaders from the community that you would call together whenever you want to, and then you tell us what you need? Seemed like a simple concept. And Bill's answer taught me a lot about public schools that I didn't know. He said, well, I work with 41 other groups. I guess 42 would be okay. And that's what he said word for word, showing me as a business person, geez, this guy's job must be 24/7, which that's the principal, high school principal's job then, 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, and I'm sure it is now. So if you've got some principals here, I appreciate what you do, and it's a hard job. The other thing is my children, some say, did you ever wrestle with artificial intelligence back 30 years ago when you were active? I said, no, we didn't need artificial intelligence back then. That's a joke from an accountant. We didn't. So what I'm going to talk about, we have some slides, so they're going to be put up. I do want to say that starting a new alliance or academy takes a lot of work. I did recruit hundreds of members. I did start over 20 alliances. They all took a long time. It was fun for me meeting new business people and getting them started, acclimating them to a school and getting it started. Sometimes they fell apart, and they fell apart for reasons that I'm going to put up on slides, hopefully, Bill, that will the 5 most important things to keep an alliance or academy functioning well. Because if you let it fail, restarting it is even harder to do that. So do we have the slides? It should. No? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what they say. Number one, you need a superintendent, as we have in Wake, who recognizes the benefits for students and faculty of engaging business leaders in schools and regularly encourages principals to enthusiastically support them. They've got lots to do. This is just one more thing. Second thing, principals who recognize the benefits to students and faculty of engaging business leaders in schools and encourages teachers to enthusiastically involve business leaders in their curriculum. That doesn't mean let them teach a whole class for 45 minutes or an hour and 15. There's no way business leaders can do that effectively. But putting us in as an addendum to the curriculum, we can do that. Third, and maybe the most important, you need a high-energy CDC. We got some CDCs here? We need a high-energy CDC who works well with faculty to identify curriculum interactions with leaders and helping business leaders be effective in their interactions with students and teachers. We need coaching from someone who understands both sides and helps us communicate. You need an alliance or academy chair who constantly recruits new members, communicates well with the business members and the CDC, and rotates that chairmanship every 2 years. So if you don't have that going on in your alliances, those are weaknesses that will lead to it falling apart. You should always be adding new alliance members, new academy advisory board members, always be looking to increase them. That's the alliance chair's job as the business representative chair, and that chair will get burnt out if they do it too long. So they need to rotate it. They can stay on the alliance or the academy advisory board for a long time, but they need to rotate the chairmanship because it eats a lot of time. And lastly, you need regional cooperation. I hope you still have regional meetings where they share best practices between the CDCs and alliance chairs at least once a year. Talk about what's working, what's not working, what are new programs, what's best for the students, what's innovative, those kind of things. Those 5 things, if you can do those 5 things, and if you want to get a copy of those slides, I think Bill Seiler might be the only one that has them, but those are very important. If you do that, your alliance and academy advisory boards, those will stay vibrant, as they have mostly for 30 years, but we have had some fail. So I'm going to go off script, as I often do when I get an opportunity, and it's going to echo a little bit about what Bill said. And Bill Seiler said that the Public School Forum of North Carolina is working an initiative that is in recognition of the crisis that we are in our state in public school funding. I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir. But this initiative focuses very much on interactions of business leaders and educators. And it means not just helping students in curriculum. It means getting business leaders up to speed on how much of a crisis we have. When we came out of the Great Recession, then we had growth period, then we hit COVID, then there's more growth. Business leaders are very focused on their own businesses. They're happy to help alliances if they're a member, but most business leaders have no idea what's going on in schools today. The only ones that do are the ones that go to schools. Someone like me who's been tutoring in various elementary and middle schools for so many years, I'm in schools every year, and I can see the impact. I don't know how you all are dealing with it. It's the challenges that you all have are not like we have in business at all. Make our jobs seem easy. But what we have to do is reach out. What you all have to do, principals, CDCs, reach out to business members you don't know, to your own alliance and academy chair members. Make sure they know what the truth is. Because here's what educators do when you take a tour of their school. They brag about how great it is. They talk about what a wonderful job everybody does. You know what they don't do? Educators, when they bring someone into their school and shows them how clean and well organized and well disciplined the students are in organized classrooms, they don't talk about the biggest problem they have. Filling every classroom every day with a qualified licensed teacher, and there are not enough of them, and our state's not producing them, and they're leaving to go to other states because they make more money there. Be sure to mention or give them a copy of the state pay scale. I'm sure you can, I've got a copy on my phone because I show it to people all the time. Business people can't believe it. What do you mean no one gets a raise after 15 years? You mean you give them raises, small raises, they start low, they get to okay, and then you stop giving them raises even though they're going to work another 15 years? Or maybe they'll just go somewhere else and you don't have to pay their retirement. So, but show it to them and business leaders will be aghast. Everybody knows we have the most challenged mental health situation in our country. And that shows up in schools more than anywhere else. Do you think business leaders know that we're not funding psychologists, social workers, nurses, all the support structure at even where we were in 2008? Just in real dollars, not much inflated dollars. Business leaders don't know that. You all feel that. You all know the lack of support. Lack of funding for technology, hardware, and software. It changes constantly in business. We couldn't possibly keep up without it. If we knew how bad it was in public schools, we'd go, what good is that to have that technology? And then textbooks. I think it's $1 per year, I think, is in the budget for textbooks and other types of learning materials. And, of course, we don't have enough money for supplies for teachers. We have to get charities to raise money for supplies for teachers. I mean, you all know these things. Now, that's just 5 things that you can talk about in about 2 minutes while you're showing off your school. But you've got to get business leaders into your school, not on the phone. Come see us. Take a tour. Shadow a principal for half a day. If I were the superintendent, I'd say to every principal, I want you to invite a business leader to shadow you 1/2 day, a different person every month of the school year. That's more work for a principal, but just come on, I'll show you what goes on here on a typical day. If we can start working together, business leaders will come to the assistance of public schools. But right now, not enough of them have it. The public school forum job right now is we're going to have 100 active recruiters in the next 3 months, and then we're going to have 1,000 business leaders by the election of 2026 who are all out speaking about the needs for legislators who are running for election to be very supportive of public schools. So you can play a big part in that, but we need you to do it. When you leave here today, I hope you take that one thing with you, that you need to get business leaders into your schools and teach them what we need to do together to have excellent public schools. So sorry going off script, but I do that a lot. Anyway, thank you for recognition and thank you for all you do every day.
Thank you, Bud. Okay. Thank you, Bill and Tom. Good to get insight from other folks. One business, one educator. We now want to recognize very quickly the people that worked focused on school to career. Now, one of the things that we tried to do is if we recognized all the CACs and CDCs, we'd have to have a room twice this big and we'd have to do a whole lot of finding. So looking for people that had retired. So what we decided was we would look at those folks that had a direct impact and report it to the CTE director with a school to career focus. And before we do that, though, I want to ask all the CDCs and CACs that are the heart and soul of this program to stand so we can recognize you. The first school to career coordinator, unfortunately, has passed away, but Annette Watson worked very closely with the program, and she and Deborah Magnum, and Deborah was the first lady that I encountered back in 1995, and she was trying to bring me along and explain the process to me. Deborah worked in that role, and then she left Wake County Public Schools and went to start the Keenan Institute for Teachers, and she developed that program, and then after developing that program, she went into the consulting business. There's a theme here. Go into the consulting business. And then did a retirement, and I thought she was at the beach, but she said that she and her family just moved back to Raleigh this week. So Deborah was very instrumental in the early days, and she was then followed by a young lady named Kathy Williams. And Kathy was a tireless worker, very organized, enjoyed to work with, and while she was doing her role as school to career coordinator, Kathy was working on her principal requirements, and she left us to go become a principal in Garner and then retired as a principal. During that time, David Rockefeller came in as the CTE director, and David was the principal at Millbrook High School and then came into the central office. And David couldn't be with us today because he's out touring presidential libraries. In his retirement, he wants to do that. So it's always interesting to see what all of us kind of do when we get to those retirement years. One of the individuals that worked with David was a young man named Eric Howe. And Eric was full of life, bright as a could be, all kinds of ideas, very excited about this school to career initiative. And Eric left Wake County and went to Vanderbilt, got his PhD in education, came back to UNC, and he's been a professor at UNC ever since. Eric called me 3 days ago and said he had a death in the family and had to be at a funeral today, so we miss him. Following Eric, and now I'm doing this on a lot of my memory, and when you get to be my age, that can really let you down. So I hope no one is keeping notes and checking this. Linda Branham came along, and Linda stayed with us for just a short period because she came and said, hey, I really like the interaction with students. She said, I enjoy this job, but she said, I like being with the students more. So Linda went back, and she became a CDC at the Wake STEM Early College, and we awarded recognition to many of her professionals that she recommended. And I'll never forget Linda's recommendations. They were about 4 or 5 pages long with 2 or 3 pages of pictures. Following Linda, we had Chris Dressler and Megan Fitzgerald. I couldn't locate Megan, but Chris worked with us a lot like Eric, very bright, had a lot of great ideas. He left us and went to DPI and then went to work for the community college system prior to retiring. And now in his retirement years, he does DJing. He was actually a DJ last night at a DPI event in Greensboro and collects Ford Econoline vans. So if anybody wants a 60s model Ford Econoline vans, see Chris after the meeting. During this period, we had another transition, and David Wiebe became our CTE director. And David was a very creative individual, an outside-the-box thinker. During David's period, the School to Career Council became the CTE advisory board, as well as in 1977, we became the business advisory board to the school board when our legislators enacted Senate Bill 257, where in every county you had to have a business advisory board to show or advise the school boards in those areas. During David's tenure, we had another school to career coordinator come in, someone that I worked with, and she used to tell me that I was her work wife, her CTE work wife, and that was Joy Frankoff. And Joy and Kathy Williams actually wrote a grant, and we started a program called Extreme Beginnings with that grant money. And from there, Joy started an intern event for students that were going to intern events. It was called the Internship Summit, and then also Great Explorations. While Joy was there in that role, David Wiebe retired, and David went to work as a welder. So he really did bring CTE home to where it needed to be. And David now does a welding instructor, part-time welding instructor at Wake Tech. But Joanne Honeycutt came on board as the CTE director, and Joanne had been a CTE director in Johnson County Public Schools, then went to DPI, and then she came to us, and during her tenure, she has really done a lot of amazing things, put a lot of emphasis on certificates. We've got lots of certifications from our students. You'll see that data later. And she's also working closely to get apprenticeships going strong. During Joanne's tenure, Joy retired, went to the beach, and we got Gail McDougall and Rosalind Tenney to come in. Gail working with academies, where she did that in Mecklenburg County and did a great job here in Wake County, a very detailed-oriented individual, kept me on track, which was probably quite a significant challenge. And then Rosalind came to us, and she'd been a middle school CDC for years. And this past year, Rosalind got her PhD, so we now call her Dr. Roz. So you can see over our 30-year history that we've had some very significant changes, but we've had some people that are very strong, some great ideas, some great thinkers that have helped improve this program. So if all those people that I just went through would kindly come forward, we're going to award you a little token of appreciation for being involved with us during that 30-year period. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Thank you, sir. Thank you, David. Thank you, Joy. Appreciate it. Thanks, Linda. So before we move on to the awards, I'd like to recognize any school board members that are here today. We had a couple, I thought, if they'd stand so we could recognize them. Over here's one. Thank you for your service. We appreciate that. And I'd also like to recognize the School Career Council, any members that are on the council that are here with us this morning. We'd like to recognize you as well if you'd stand. With that, we'd like to move on with the awards portion of the program.
And now, our School to Career Volunteer Awards. The Wake County Public School System is fortunate to have a host of business partners that engage with us in a variety of ways. Before we announce our winners, we would like to recognize all of our nominees. As your name is called, please stand at your table, and please hold your applause until all names have been called. Our nominees are Randy Batten, Narda Serta, TJ Cawley, Bonita Harrington, Lindsay Hollis, Virginia Johnson, Kelly Jones, Tisha Lowe, Mary Landis Middleton, Larissa Moore, Wes Seifert, Joyce Stevens, Yvonne Williams. Thank you for your service to our students and schools. Our first award goes to Mary Landis Middleton. Please come forward to receive your award. Miss Landis works for MDO Holdings. She has participated in numerous school events, including mock interviews and resume review. She has judged student presentations and projects and been an active member of the Broughton Business Alliance. Congratulations to Miss Middleton. Our next honoree is Tisha Lowe. Please come forward to receive your award. As the chair of the Rollsville High School Business Alliance, Ms. Lowe has been instrumental in creating new ideas for student work and helping them come to life. She has been a resource for youth leadership events and provided internships for students. Congratulations to Ms. Lowe. Our next award recipient is Larissa Moore. Please come forward to receive your award. Larissa Moore is the hub of Wake Forest High School. Larissa has faithfully served the Wake Forest High School Business Alliance for over 10 years, as well as PTSA president, a member of the school improvement team, and leadership roles for the Northeastern Regional Business Alliance. She assists and is instrumental in leading and supporting large-scale student events each year, including the Jumpstart Your Future Pathways to Success Career Fair, College Fair, and Student Club Fair. She initiated and has led speed networking for 11th grade English classes, and she also manages mock interviews. She is a cornerstone of Wake Forest High School's success and a driving force behind the meaningful, real-world experiences that prepare students for life after graduation. Please put your hands together for our award recipients. Please welcome to the stage School to Career Council Co-Chair, Ms. Wanda Denning.
Good morning. Wake County Schools is a leader in North Carolina in the implementation of career academies. We currently have 24 academies. We are proud of the growth in the number of academies, the diversity in location, and the themes for emerging careers. Career academies are smaller cohort learning communities within a school that focus on career themes and integrate the students' CTE studies with their core curriculum. Academy students participate in numerous work-based learning activities such as job shadowing, career fairs, career-themed industry tours, and internships. All students in a career academy must complete 120-hour internship their senior year. The teaching of soft and applied skills is integrated throughout the curriculum. Each career academy has a career advisory board made up of business volunteers and higher ed representatives from that specific career theme. They work in the career academy. They work with the career academy coordinator, students, the academy teachers to support the career academy. Work-based learning is an important component of CTE. CTE supports a continuum for work-based learning activities beginning in middle school that includes awareness, exploration, and preparation. One of the best ways that you can support our program is to engage in work-based learning. There are many ways to participate that will fit your schedule. We're excited about the expansion of our participation phase in the continuum, including students who are being offered employment based on work experiences with SHED and with VOLT. The expansion of pre-apprentice and apprentice programs in 2025. Some of our students have completed internships in global companies. Other students have been in operating rooms, production floors, on work sites, in business offices, in kitchens, you name it, and we're sending our students there. We're proud of the opportunities for our students to participate in various work-based learning experiences. As the numbers show, we had students that participated in apprenticeships, job shadow experiences, internships, and course-specific work-based learning experiences during the 24-25 year. Excuse me. In addition, over 8,200 volunteers participated in work-based learning events that represented over 146,000 student interactions last year. We have noted, in order for nearly 91,000 students in grades 6 through 13 have these experiences, and we need business partners like you to make that happen. Now it is my pleasure to introduce one of our students, Arav Nathani is a student at West Millbrook Middle School. He's very active in his FBLA, where he is chapter president, and he enjoys in his spare time, if he has any, playing basketball. Please welcome to the stage, Arav.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Arav Nathani, and I am proud to be a 7th grader at West Millbrook Middle School. My school year began on August 25th, and I can confidently say this school year has been an exciting journey so far. From the very first days, I've been eager to embrace new challenges and to dive into subjects that truly capture my interests. One class that I was particularly looking forward to for this school year was computer science. This course focuses on the fundamentals, such as typing and coding basics. While these skills may seem straightforward, I believe these are crucial skills that lay the groundwork for effective problem solving and technology use, which these skills are more important than ever in today's world. In 6th grade, I was first introduced to CTE courses by taking Exploring Business and Entrepreneurship with Ms. Burnwell. This is where it all started. This course helped me build a solid foundation and prepare me for real-life situations by developing confidence, problem-solving abilities, and leadership skills. These skills are all essential for college success and lifelong career readiness. One project that we did in Ms. Burnwell's class was to develop and create a business plan. This project truly helped me understand money, budgeting, decision-making, and how to take initiative. Building on my early learning, in 6th grade, I took a compacted math class with Mr. Z that accelerated my learning a lot, and now I'm enrolled in Math 1, a high school level course. I am also part of the AIG program at my school, which pushes me to think more creatively and explore subjects more deeply. Leadership and service, also something that has been important to me throughout my life. For the past 2 years, I've served as president of our FBLA club, which has strengthened my confidence in communication. Community service, also a very important part of my life. Whether it has been through food drives, park cleanups, or care packages, all of these examples have taught me the true value of teamwork and empathy. My favorite memory of community service is from my time in India with my grandparents, when we volunteered at the Mother Teresa orphanage. That experience truly reminded me how essential it is to have caring, dedicated people leading us, just like our teachers and school leaders, who foster a safe and welcoming environment every single day of the week. Programs like our school breakfast initiative show the same spirit of compassion, helping us start the day focused, energized, and ready to learn. Career and technical education, CTE, is the heart of how we prepare for the future. Unlike traditional classes, CTE teaches practical skills in areas of business and technology. FBLA is one way students practice those skills, by applying leadership and problem solving in real-life situations. I want to especially thank Ms. Burnwell, my business education teacher, who goes beyond mentoring and encourages me and my peers to believe in ourselves. Ms. Burnwell helped me find my goals, exploring my strengths and interests, and to see what I would be good at. Through her guidance, I have found a path for my future and now have goals to attend Duke for college, where I intend to major in statistics and business. If I could, I would also like to play basketball at Duke, and I am currently a 3-time state champion. I also see how supports like tutoring, after-school programs, and breakfast provide my classmates with important boosts. Sometimes it's the small acts, like a meal before a test or extra help after school, that make a big difference in a student's day. Being here today reminds me that students don't just receive from education, we contribute to shaping it. When students, teachers, and leaders work together, we build a community where everyone can succeed academically and grow into confident, responsible individuals ready to make a difference. So on behalf of all students, thank you to the educators, administrators, and leaders who work tirelessly to support us. Your commitment changes our lives and prepares us to be tomorrow's leaders and innovators. Thank you for this opportunity to share my story. I'm truly grateful for it. When schools invest in countless programs that are a part of every student's day, they invest in a brighter future for all of us. Together, we're not preparing for the future, we're building it. Thank you for everyone's time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Great job. Appreciate it.
And now we return to our School to Career Volunteer Awards. When the winner is named, we ask that he or she come to the stage to receive the award. Miss Yvonne Williams is our next honoree. Please come forward to receive your award. Miss Williams has been a steadfast supporter of Millbrook High School for over 5 years through her dedicated service and leadership as a representative of the North Carolina State Employees Credit Union. She plays a critical role in enhancing students' career readiness and financial literacy as an active participant in our Emerging Careers Expo and serves as a coordinator of the SECU Reality of Money Fair. Ms. Williams also supports students with participation in mock interviews. Congratulations to Ms. Yvonne Williams. Our next award winner is Bonita Harrington from Duke Energy. Please come forward to receive your award. In her nomination, Ms. Harrington was described as ready to work. She has facilitated industry tours, mentorships, and job shadowing opportunities, and also has supported career panel presentations for students. In addition, she has volunteered at a number of our district-wide events. Congratulations to Ms. Harrington. Randy Batten is our next award winner. Please come forward to receive your award. Mr. Batten's involvement goes far beyond simply showing up to assist. He actively contributes to the planning and brainstorming of events. His participation spans a wide range of activities, including career fairs, mock interviews, internships, pre-apprenticeships, career tours, classroom visits and instruction, Vernon Malone College and Career Academy signing day, and support for OSHA 10 and 30 certification. He has mentored a significant number of students who have gone on to be signed by the Piedmont Service Group and are now employed there in various capacities. Congratulations to Mr. Randy Batten.
I always get the fun part of introducing our students. Luke Patrick Foote is a senior at Fuquay-Varina High School. He is a dedicated student and leader. Luke has immersed himself in CTE, completing courses in construction, masonry, horticulture, agricultural mechanics, and technology, engineering, and design, along with numerous honors and AP classes. And I think he's missing a couple of AP classes this morning, is that right? Luke is a member of multiple honor societies, and his academic success is matched by his commitment to leadership and service through FFA, where he has held a variety of leadership roles and excelled in competitive events. He's also dedicated time to service projects, and he's also engaged in hands-on agricultural learning through a supervised agricultural experience and an agri-science fair project. Luke's supervised agricultural experience has been focused on raising poultry and waterfowl, both at home and at school. Outside of school, Luke is an accomplished scout, a member of Troop 320. He has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, earned the Order of the Arrow, the Triple Crown, the Bronze Palm distinction. Looking ahead, Luke plans to pursue a career as a veterinarian and has applied to NC State University. With his dedication and leadership and strong foundation in both academics and service, Luke is well on his way to making a meaningful impact in the field of veterinary medicine. Please welcome Luke to the stage.
Good morning, superintendents, educators, and volunteers of Wake County. As you have heard, my name is Luke Foote, and I'm a senior from Fuquay-Varina High School. This morning, I have the honor of representing our career and technical education program to share some of the opportunities it has provided me throughout my high school career. In 2022, when I entered high school, I was introduced to the CTE program, which prepared me for the endless possibilities of my future. Throughout my high school career, I've been enrolled in classes including construction corps, masonry, technology engineering design, foundations of agriculture, ag mechanics, and horticulture. In these classes, I was taught to challenge myself and go above and beyond in my schoolwork. I learned about a whole new aspect of school that wasn't just textbooks and typing on a computer. I got to have hands-on, real-world learning experiences, and I was able to challenge myself and go above and beyond in my schoolwork. I earned a grade on not how I could retain information to pass a test, but on how well I could perform a task, solve complex problems, and think critically. I learned not to give up and to grow as a person through practice and trial in the classroom. Because of this, I was allowed the opportunity to speak in front of the Southern Wake Business Alliance and share some of what we do in our CTE classes, such as learning how to weld, wire an electrical circuit, fix equipment, identify and grow plants, raise animals, lay bricks, and build small-scale models such as bridges and houses. I used these skills when leading the construction of my Eagle Scout project, which was building a box for the community to place and retire American flags in for the Scouts to properly retire. These skills helped me grow for the future and are currently helping me work part-time on several farms, maintaining the land, caring for various animals, including dogs, cats, cows, and horses. Not only did I learn these life lessons and technical skills during class, but I was also able to implement them in extracurricular activities I've done outside of school. A notable example of this is through the National FFA organization, which used to be called the Future Farmers of America. I joined FFA towards the end of my freshman year, and through FFA, I've been given so many opportunities. I've competed in a diverse range of competitions over the last 3 years, including poultry judging, ag mechanics, veterinary science, prepared public speaking, and the Volt electrical wiring competition through CTE. I've been to many leadership conferences to develop my skills of teamwork at several levels, including the range from the county level all the way up to the state level. I am also currently serving as the president of my high school's FFA chapter and as the very first president of the newly formed Southern Wake FFA Federation. Thanks to these opportunities, I've been able to network with many important individuals in our community, including government and industry officials, local farmers, commissioners, chancellors, deans of colleges, and corporate sponsors who support and believe in the future of agriculture, such as BASF, Syngenta, Caterpillar, John Deere, and Farm Bureau. My FFA and CTE course experience has helped me work towards my goal of becoming a veterinarian. I've documented hours as part of my supervised agriculture experience, or SAE project as we call it. Our projects are designed and conducted by students through ag teachers' guidance and support. And for the past 4 years, as you heard, my major SAE project has been raising poultry and waterfowl at my home and at the high school. I am passionate about animals, so I decided that I wanted to take eggs from the ducks I bought at Tractor Supply and incubate them. Gradually, I increased the flock size at my home with several breeds of ducks, geese, and chickens. As my project grew, I transitioned from strictly keeping the fowl I incubated to a small business selling the fowl and the eggs they produced. I reinvested the profits I made to buy more equipment and feed, which, as you know, is very expensive, with the goal in mind of increasing flock size to repeat this process. The chicken coop at the high school now houses over 18 various breeds of different chickens. Our school flock is used to teach ag students about poultry care, husbandry, and evaluation. I learned a lot through self-study and through knowledge through the help of the internet to learn how to hatch and candle eggs, treat injured birds, and how to properly care and provide for them to increase egg production. Through my project, I've been able to showcase my learning experience by displaying my ducks at the FFA Children's Barnyard every year in October. I also showcased my project to other ag teachers from the Federation this summer inside of Wake County when they visited my high school and several others. I plan on furthering my learning experience by logging additional hours of SAE time and applying for a proficiency award during my senior year. To this date, I've logged over 300 hours over the last 3 years and used my time for my SAE project to earn my Green Hand and Chapter FFA degree. As students of Wake County, we have the opportunity to further our education past these levels provided in each class through a CTE internship, where we have to work and log our experience as well as be evaluated based on our performance. I am doing the CTE internship during the spring semester, where I'll be expanding my knowledge through interning at a job for 120 hours in the agriculture field. After high school, I plan on running for state FFA officer position and continue to represent the Blue Jacket. I attribute my success to everyone here today, especially Dr. Jesse, our CTE coordinator, Ms. Honeycutt, my CTE teachers at Fuquay-Varina High School, and Central Services CTE staff. And of course, my FFA advisors, Mr. Bowden, who's here today, and Ms. Moomey. I wouldn't be standing up here today without the support I've received from these incredible people. Thank you for your time today, and have a blessed day.
Once again, we return to our School to Career Volunteer Awards. Stand if you hear your name, and if you are the winner, please come to the stage to receive your award. Virginia Johnson is our next award winner. Please come forward to receive your award. Ms. Johnson's dedication and leadership have made a significant impact on our school community. She leads, organizes, and inspires. She played a pivotal role in establishing a military and public service celebration to honor graduating students from 2 area high schools who are entering military or public service roles. Her ability to bring together diverse community organizations allows her to engage with numerous students and increase her impact. Congratulations to Virginia Johnson. Our final High School Business Alliance honoree is TJ Cawley. Please come forward to receive your award. As the mayor of Morrisville, Mr. Cawley has gone out of his way to connect with our students and offer real-world advice that truly makes a difference. He has served as a guest speaker, he's volunteered for mock interviews, and helped recruit guest speakers for Career Day. Please join me in congratulating Mayor Cawley.
And our last student speaker today is a freshman at UNC, Anya Trevetti. Okay. She's a student leader double majoring in biology and biostatistics. A 5-year HOSA member and certified EMT, she graduated in May from the Wake Early College of Health Sciences and Wake Technical Community College with an Associate of Science degree. She has served as North Carolina HOSA State Vice President and Wake Early College HOSA Chapter Leader, expanding the student involvement in health science education and competition opportunities. She's also pursued enriching academic experiences, participating in North Carolina Governor's School of Natural Science, an opportunity that she credits with shaping her growth. She is recognized as a semifinalist for the U.S. Presidential Scholar in Career and Technical Education and has earned national honors, including the Barbara James Service Award and the President's Volunteer Service Award. Please welcome Anya.
Hi everyone. If you would have told my 5th grade self that one day I'd be speaking at the superintendent's breakfast, I probably would have laughed and then honestly asked to go back to recess. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity. It truly is an honor to be here. My name is Anya, and I'm a freshman at UNC. Go Tar Heels. And I know football isn't our sport, but basketball will be, trust me. I grew up in Raleigh, and I've been part of the WCPSS family since elementary school, so to say that this is full circle is just the beginning. This district has shaped so much of who I am, and it means the world to be here celebrating the people that made this possible. Before I begin, I would like to thank the many organizations that have helped me get to where I am, including my former high school, Wake Early College of Health and Sciences, the CTE programs, Wake Technical Community College, and of course, Wake Med. If I had to capture my high school experience in a single word, it would be exploration. 4 years of classes, programs, and opportunities stretched before me like a map, yet the real learning didn't come from simply following this path. It came from the choices I made, the risks I took, and the ways that I decided to chart my own course, all guided by the mentors, like you all, who chose to help me see these paths. It began with health science courses, like Health Science 1 my freshman year. While the curriculum was guided, projects like research papers let us explore our own interests, whether diving into medical topics or applying classroom knowledge to real-world problems. It was here that I discovered a love for oncology, and classes like this throughout high school gave me a chance to create similar projects and learn beyond simply textbooks. Yet, this was only the start. Attending symposiums allowed me to challenge what I had applied and really focus on applying it in more meaningful ways, such as ones hosted here in this exact same place. During the summer between my junior and senior year, I was even given the opportunity to job shadow at Wake Med in the clinical pharmacy, something I'd never been exposed to before, an experience that greatly expanded my understanding of the clinical careers that are available and possible to students all across the state and county. I was able to deepen my knowledge of the healthcare field and really see what people were doing beyond just a hospital setting, and this exploration taught me to ask why, see the bigger picture, and consider what I wanted to contribute to the world. Even further than this, HOSA, Future Health Professionals, offered me a way to explore. Serving as chapter president and North Carolina HOSA vice president, I stepped into leadership roles that pushed me out of my comfort zone. Organizing events, mentoring students, and campaigning taught me to motivate others, manage teams, and make an impact beyond myself. Competing in events like health informatics and emergency medical technician helped me explore healthcare beyond the classroom, applying knowledge creatively while seeing the real-world impact of what I had learned. Above all, my senior year put this into action through the Wake County EMS EMT program, where I earned my EMT certification. Hands-on clinical experiences, skill labs, and lectures from skilled providers challenged me like never before. My first time performing CPR on a person is an experience that I will carry with me for the rest of my life, and this is a moment that really did test my training composure, but at the end of the day, showed the power that each person has. A healthcare provider, an educator, or just being a person in the world. Together, these experiences led to the honor of representing Wake County in North Carolina as a nominee for the CTE Presidential Scholar Program, eventually being recognized as a semifinalist for the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program, something that's given to 600 students across the entire country. That recognition wasn't just about the award, though. It reflected how supportive mentors and programs, like the ones that I'm in, the ones that you all support, really allow people to, and students to explore their potential and embrace opportunities that they may not have been familiar with. I wasn't familiar with CTE before high school, but I can really look back at the way that all of these programs have changed my life and my trajectory moving forward. And even looking back now, these exploration wasn't just about the classes or the programs I was in. It was about the curiosity, initiative, and the growth that I was encouraged to take and have, asking questions, taking risks, and discovering who I was in the process. Every student in the district benefits from educators, mentors, and leaders who go above and beyond to provide the tools to explore our potential. You create spaces where students aren't just seen, but believed in. They're allowed to look and make some mistakes along the way, but really find who they are and what they're passionate about. So to Ms. Hill, my career development coordinator, Ms. Graham, our weight tech liaison, Ms. Tyndall, my former CTE teacher who's retired now, Ms. Cummings, my principal, and all the staff at my former high school, thank you for encouraging me to explore and dream bigger than I ever thought was possible. And to everyone here, students and staff across Wake County, we are exploring, discovering, and dreaming bigger than ever before, thanks to you all. Thank you to the educators, the peers, the administrators, industry partners, volunteers. You support us and you allow us to look and to see and see what we're truly passionate about. Thank you so much.
In addition to the High School Business Alliance winners, we would also like to recognize 2 other groups of volunteers for their many volunteer experiences. Middle School Business Alliance members and Career Advisory Team members, please stand as your name is called. First, the nominees for Middle School Business Alliance are Rebecca Chiavetta, Lindsay Granados, Julie Trollinger, Carrie Woke, Gary Broadman. Thank you for your service to our students and schools. The award for Middle School Business Alliance goes to Carrie Woke. Please come forward to receive your award. Ms. Woke has been an active participant in STEAM Day and recruited others to participate as well. She participated in STEAM Day and Career Day and spoke to pet, vet, and plant agriculture classes about reptiles and brought 3 snakes for students to see and pet. And our final category is for Career Advisory Team. Please stand as your name is called. The nominees are Justin Diana, Kathy Price, Dr. Edwin Burkett, Lakeisha Martin, Mallory DeLuca, Christine Zaharanik. Thank you for your service to our students and schools. The award for Career Advisory Team goes to Mallory DeLuca. Please come forward to receive your award. Ms. DeLuca has been instrumental in expanding the EMT pipeline for Wake County. She has supported EMT certifications for Wake County students, allowing them to be job ready and certified when they graduate. She has coordinated internships and mentorships for students. In addition, she has facilitated and hosted our Public Safety Symposium for several years. Ms. DeLuca also serves as a guest speaker, career fair participant, and judge for student projects. Please join me in showing our appreciation to Ms. Mallory DeLuca. Now welcome to the stage, Joanne Honeycutt, Career and Technical Education Director for Wake County Public School System.
Good morning. It's always the worst spot on the agenda to follow excellent student speakers. I hope that you were able to glean nuggets from what they shared with you about their successes. We are certainly proud of all they have accomplished, and I'm proud of the teachers and the support staff and the leaders who have helped make it so. I also hope you heard the nuggets in their remarks about the connections between business and industry and what an important role you play in how our students are succeeding. If you walk around town, sometimes people might say, oh, the kids today, and they're right, because they can dream bigger, they can do more things, they think critically, and they are on track to solve a lot of really hard problems that our generation is wrestling with. So leave here today feeling good about the state of the world, because we have excellent student leaders coming along to be the change agents that we need in the world. I promised to take just a few minutes, but I wanted to share, you've heard from the students, you've seen their stories. You've had that anecdotal information about what a difference you make. But I want to take just a step back for a minute and share with you some data points that demonstrate and reiterate how important this work is and the good things that are happening. So I'm going to ask if you guys can leave that graph up there for a few minutes. It's so busy, it takes me a few minutes to get through it. And I'm not going to go through all the points, but I want to highlight for you that career and technical education and students who participate are on track to be those business leaders and to be those business founders. CTE students graduate at a rate over 99%. So we're proud of our district graduation rate, Dr. Taylor, but what we know is when students have a focused area of study, they are more likely to graduate on time with their cohort, and we're really proud about that. Some folks have had the idea or the myth for many years that CTE is just for a select group of students, and I want you to hear me say today that CTE is for all students. All means all. We serve, thank you for that. We serve around 65,000 students every year in our CTE programs in grades 8 through 12. We're touching a lot of students. About 8,000 students completed a CTE concentration or that focused area of study in school year 23-24. Now, you might be asking, why are we talking about 23-24, not 24-25? There's good reason for that. It's because the data hasn't been officially released for 24-25 yet. We'll get you that as soon as it comes. So those concentrations make a difference. The higher graduation rate, students with concentrations earn more when they go to work. They're more likely to be employed when they graduate from high school. It makes a profound impact on their future. We know that about 89% of our students go on to further education. There was a myth for many years that CTE students don't go into higher education. Not true. Not true. 98% of our students have positive placement, but around 90% of them are going into further education. 2/3 of them are going to universities, and another third are going to community colleges or trade schools. So they are leaving us with the skills and the knowledge ready to go and do that. Another way that we validate the knowledge and skills that students have is through the offering and students exercising the ability or the option to earn industry-recognized credentials. So this next slide is not as busy, but it shows you over time the rate at which our students have earned industry-recognized credentials. Now, we are leading. Well, I should say this is unofficial data. Okay, so it might change a few, but we are leading the state in the number of industry-recognized credentials that are earned. 33,775 this is 24-25 number there. That means that about 70% of students who leave high school with a concentration in CTE leave with a credential, a diploma plus something that helps them be more marketable. And we decide, in partnership with the state, which credentials they are. We ask you as business and industry leaders to help us identify which of those credentials have the most value to you as industry leaders and help students give them the advantage, if you will, for hiring as they go into the workplace. So we always elicit and appreciate your input on what matters most. Before I introduce our final speaker, I do want to, as Dr. Taylor alluded, I want to put in a shameless plug. So here it goes. All this work happens because of partnerships. Wake County is a unique place in that we have 30-year history of school to career. This began with vision long before I had a seat or a part of this program. But it continues because of the efforts of the people in this room and those that couldn't be with us today. And if we don't, as Tom mentioned, if we don't continue to bring people along with us, we will not be as successful as we have been. So sometimes folks say, well, it's a chicken and egg kind of thing, Luke. They say, we want to be involved, but we don't know how, on the business side. And the educators say, we want business in our school buildings, but we don't know how to get them here. So I'm giving you a takeaway today. These are replaceable stickers, so don't be worried about putting it on your laptop. It will come off should you ever choose to take it off, and maybe you won't. These are stickers with a QR code that takes you to a spreadsheet that's very busy, and it's very busy because we're a very busy school system, of activities that are happening in this school year where business and industry folks can choose to partner with us. It lists on there all the ways you can partner, all the things you can do. You put it on the back of your laptop, and you'll be sitting in a meeting one day, and somebody will say, "What's that sticker?" And then you have an opportunity to tell them all about it. And if they really like it, we've given you 2. You can say to them, "You really like my sticker? Here's one for you. Go and see how many scans you can get and how many partners you can bring with us." The work we do is incredibly important because of the stories of the students that you heard today. We appreciate your partnership and value the work, but we still have lots more work to do. It's now my privilege and honor to introduce our final speaker of the day. We started recognizing a CTE Teacher of the Year several years ago when the state started that initiative. This year's CTE Teacher of the Year is Dennis Perks. He teaches Adobe at Apex Friendship High School. Dennis and I go back quite a few years. He had a stint at the Department of Public Instruction. We served there together. But he missed Wake County schools, and he missed being with students, and I think that speaks a lot about the heart that Dennis has for teaching and learning. So he left me high and dry at DPI to come back to Wake County, and joke's on him because I followed him. So at this time, please help me welcome to the podium Mr. Dennis Perks.
It is true, I did leave, and there's a little more to the story because it was at summer conference, and she was mad at me. And then a couple weeks later, made the announcement herself. I guess I am the slightly more mature classroom teacher perspective, and the only thing standing between you and your busy day, so we'll see if we can get it going. As Joanne mentioned, my name is Dennis Perks, fortunate enough to be CTE Teacher of the Year last year. And so I'd like to just say to you all today, one simple thing. You aren't, hold on. Something with my bank account. Just got to click this link and everything will be fine. All right, so as I was saying, you guys are, whoop, Taylor Swift fan alert. Taylor just dropped a new secret track. All right, so seriously, you guys are dancing cats, literally. Cowboy? I'm not sure about that. All right, clearly I would not stand up here so completely distracted with my cell phone in front of so many important people from the school system and the business community. But I've got your attention, maybe not in a good way, but it does highlight, right, one of the biggest problems that we have in the classroom today, and that is distracted students. I'm sure as educators and parents and business community members, you have to deal with this as well. So I would like to take a minute to thank the state of North Carolina and the school system for recent changes in cell phone policy because it has made an incredible difference in the classroom. And although it's not been hard, not been easy to implement, I think every educator can see that, right? Our students every day are bombarded by notifications, DMs, likes, algorithms, and they spend quite a bit of time focusing on things that are not real, right, or not what we would consider important, right? When we help them put the phones down, even for a little bit, they look up, literally, right? They start seeing what's real. I'm seeing students look at each other in the eye, talking to each other, doing homework during homeroom instead of just scrolling endlessly. So we are really helping them to understand that they can do things with their hands and not just their thumbs, right? They're rediscovering people, purpose, and I'm sure every educator would back that up. As it was mentioned already, those two little words, artificial intelligence, which cause incredible excitement. I admit, I just got the subscription 2 weeks ago. But also a lot of anxiety on how to balance the good and the bad. And I think we've all heard, especially in CTE, the line, students are preparing for jobs that don't even exist yet. And as a parent of 3 high school students, 2 of which who are seniors right now, I'm more scared on what jobs aren't going to be there when they get out. And so I've put a lot of time with my daughters trying to reach out to real people to help them figure that out. So that's why you're important, right? You represent the real world, the future. You bring the authentic, the hands-on, this is how it actually works kind of experience that our students crave, even if they don't quite know that they do. And we all know in CTE, we do a lot to connect those students, right? It's already been mentioned, it's called work-based learning, which is job shadows, internships, apprenticeships, mentorships, immersions, and countless other experiences as well. But none of that happens without you, right? Without volunteers and business partners who open their doors, take the calls, visit the classrooms, and say the magic words, sure, send them over, and I'll take care of it. And sometimes those are the moments that change their lives, right? At Apex Friendship, we have an engineering academy, and I've seen that power firsthand and the difference those connections make. Students work alongside with engineers, designers, professionals who show them that math and science aren't just things that you survive in school. They're tools to build, create, and design their own future. They visit real job sites, shadow professionals, hear the words that change everything. You belong here. And when that happens, and you can see that light bulb turn on, it's real, right? It's important. Isaac last year was not only our TSA president, but he did an off-site internship for his Academy of Engineering stint. And he was fortunate enough to actually be part of a patent application for a device that goes on the back of a phone to help balance it out. Evidently, Apples have it, but Androids do not. So tell me that wasn't a moment that made a difference for him, right? That's real. And again, that's why you are important. Our CDCs, of which I was one 20 years ago when I first came to North Carolina, they're superheroes, right? Working behind the scenes to connect students every day. Part guidance counselor, part recruiter, part event planner, part LinkedIn matchmaker. And if you've ever gotten an email saying, hey, can I send a student for a job shadow next Thursday, or we really need some help with some mock interviews, right? That's them. And they're making real learning possible through real connections, right? When you respond to those emails, you're not just filling an afternoon, you're really touching students' lives and helping them to build confidence and imagine what their future might be like in full color. A few quick memories from my early days. Alfie was a student who wasn't really interested in school, even though he trudged along. And then we got him an experience with a large electrical company in the area, and the spark was lit, pun intended, right? That led to an apprenticeship, and I'm sure Alfie's making a lot more money than I am today, because we all know the skilled trades are back. Katie wanted to be a physical therapist, so we set her up with an internship. And 4 months later, during her final presentation, she said, I don't want to be a physical therapist. And I thought, wow, how nice is that to learn before she was going to her 3+2 program and dropping $125,000 or $150,000 on an education. So sometimes learning what you don't want to do or what the real is instead of that imaginary thing in their brain, right? Like doctors would be a great example. I'm going to save people all day long. No, you're going to do a lot of paperwork too. And the last one would be Alice. She wanted to be a baby nurse. And I don't know how, 20 years ago, we got her into the NICU at the Children's Hospital. And I went out to visit, and it was just incredible seeing what these people were doing for these little babies born 20 weeks early, the size of a dollar bill. But unfortunately, with the joy came a lot of heartbreak. And she had to experience that to figure out whether she really wanted to be in that career and she can handle that. So those are 3 of my early memories about what the CDCs do. Real experiences from people like you. Lastly, a quick nod to the CTSOs like TSA, Skills, DECA, HOSA, FFA, FCLA, FBLA. Mr. Haller has brought me into this fold for the last few years, and I get to go to regional, state, national conferences, and it's incredible. They're not on their phones. I mean, they're running around, they're designing, they're prototyping, they're refining their robots, pitching ideas, right? And they're doing this in teams with people. And if you haven't been to one, it really gives you hope that, you know, it's not just the other things that we see, right? Practical, real leadership, not on a screen or in a game, but face-to-face and side-by-side. And guess who makes that possible? You do, right? You sponsor, you judge, you volunteer and mentor the kids, and you model for them what success looks like in the real world. Peter, a recent graduate for us, who was one of our TSA stars, had multiple medals at the state conference and several top 10s at the national conference. And he also was a part of the ACE Mentor program. And so when he applied to NC State, he wound up with a Goodnight scholarship and got a full ride. And I'm sure there were a lot of other things that Peter had done, but certainly being a multiple-time state award winner for TSA helped to separate him from his peers. I've had a lot of good moments over the years. I could probably talk about 100 more with students. I'm sure every teacher here has those list of moments. But unfortunately, I had to admit this summer that I can do better in this area. And we were at our CTE Empowered Summit. I was in a workshop with Ms. Honeycutt, and I had to look her in the eye and say, you know, I don't do a good job in this area. I do a million other things, but this is something that has been lacking for me. And not for any other reason but effort. So I've started reaching out to local short film makers to work with my Video 2 kids. I am in search of somebody in the magazine publishing industry because we have numerous publications that are ongoing. And so if anyone has any connections in those areas, I'll be at the copy station after we're done. All right. Last Friday I was at the homecoming game, standing watching the football game, and a videographer from the other team was there. And I said, hey, what are you doing? And we struck up a conversation. He works for a local digital media company, and we will be meeting tomorrow with his team to talk about them providing footage for our students, coming in and doing some workshops, and they've also mentioned they might have a few internships. And so I guess I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to put my money where my mouth is. So thank you. For all of you this morning, business owners, mentors, volunteers, you are important. You're helping students replace distraction with direction, helping them find purpose, passion, and possibility. You're the bridge between what's taught in the classroom and what's needed in the real world, and every time you open a door for them, you help to open their world. One final observation. I've said the word important 11 times today. I've said the word real 17 times. And I'm sure you all know why, because to our students, you are real important. So, thank you.
Okay. That concludes the program. Thank you very much for joining us. As I say every year, being a construction professional, the last 2 years I was good at giving you time back. This year we took it. So I apologize, but I thought it was extremely important to be able to recognize the individuals, the architects for our 30th anniversary of School to Career. So thank you for your patience. One final note, on October 28th, we're going to be right back in this building doing Extreme Beginnings. And we still need volunteers, especially for mock interviews. So if any of you business professionals would love to join us, we'd love to have you. Remember Joanne's little codes that are on your table. get those, and see what's going on in the world of CTE. Thank you very much for your time.